and blessings. Welcome back to Jonathan's house. Sister Tara here. So we have a very busy day ahead of us. We are doing a storage run today, dropping some things off, picking some things up, as well as it's our Sabbath prep day. So we have to get some things done before the sun goes down. Also, we're visiting Missouri Wind and Solar. I think that's what it's called. It's a few hours away from where we are. So we on the road now and heading there to pick up some solar panels that my husband purchased. We want to answer some questions that some people have asked us on our channel. One of the questions that was asked, will we be sharing more off-grid essential lifestyle information? Like, how do you maintain income to meet daily family needs, food, fuel for traveling, gas for cooking, deodorant, laundry, including all necessary purchases?
Okay, so first off, let me just say that this is not going to be solely a homesteading channel. If you subscribe to this channel thinking that it was going to be all about homesteading, I'm sorry that you were misled. There are plenty of other channels out there, some really great, awesome channels that focus on homesteading. This is my channel. I'm gonna post what I want to post, and I'm always gonna give all glory, honor, and praises to my Heavenly Father. I am going to spread His word, spread the gospel as much as I possibly can. If you feel that we are too religious, or whatever the case may be, please feel free to unsubscribe. My feelings will not be hurt. Now, to answer the question, yes, we will be posting videos about homesteading. We will be showing you guys a lot of what we'll be doing as far as the homesteading goes, building up our homestead. Some things we won't show for privacy purposes. I just don't believe in putting all of my business on the internet, but we will be showing a lot for the specific purpose of, you know, showing the brethren, showing the Akim and the Aqua, you know, just this lifestyle, trying to encourage people to come out of her, trying to encourage people to get back to the ways that our ancestors used to live, as far as just living off the land, living a set-apart lifestyle. So we will be, you know, just showing as much as we possibly can. When we first came out, the original plan was for us to live on the land while I built my house. However, plans have changed since then. As a lot of you may already know, we relocated to the southern Missouri area from South Florida. A lot of people would say that, well, first of all, let me just say that, like I said, we plan to live on the land while building my house. We did a lot of research from Florida to prepare ourselves to come out here to southern Missouri. But like I said in one of my other videos, until you get out here, you know, you really don't know what's going on until you come out here. Unfortunately for us, when we came out here in March, was actually my first time setting foot on my land that I purchased almost 2 years ago. So when we came out here in March, that was my first time coming out on the land. You gotta keep in mind, we came out here from Florida. We were living in Florida, and I bought my land in the Midwest, Missouri. That's about a day's drive. I know some other brothers who bought land relatively close to where they were already living. So the transition wasn't, the transition wasn't that major of a transition as it was for us. When we got out here and we actually got on the land, I was able to see how raw the land really was. I already know that I purchased raw land in a sense that there was no electricity, there was no water, no plumbing, no road installation, heavily wooded. But it wasn't until I got out here that I could actually see how much work was going to need to be done in order to make the land suitable and livable conditions for my family. Also, I have infant twin boys. So with that being said, all of the ticks and all of the wildlife and everything going on, I felt that it would probably be best for me to rent something close by. And when I say close by, we probably like an hour away from the land. But I felt like it would be best for me to rent something close by and come out to the land as much as I can to get work done, so that eventually we'll be able to be on the land full time. Some people might say, well, you left one city to go to another city. Don't forget about the vision that the Most High God gave you, etc., etc. And what I say to that is, I came from a city that had about 7 million, 8 million people, to living in a small town now with less than 20,000 people. Okay? Don't tell me I ain't come out mind your own business. Right? The scripture states, study the hell to be quiet and mind your own damn business. Also, I lived in Florida. My land is in Missouri. It was close to impossible for me to visit my land to get work done living in Florida. So, now me being an hour away, I come out to my land once a week, once every other week. Try to come out once a week. It's just a better situation all the way around as far as me being able to get on the land and get some work done. As far as projects coming up in the future, in the near future, I am in the works. I am in contact with a gentleman or two to get some work done on the land as far as land clearing, road installation. I have different terrains on my land, so road installation is going to be important, in terms of just being able to access the land, being able to access different parts of the land. I plan on having trucks come onto the land to make deliveries and things of that nature, so a good road is going to be essential, and making sure that none of the trucks get stuck, that that we're just able to access different parts of the land. So that is being that's in the works. Hopefully, what is it, June? It's June now. Next month I should have some really good footage for you guys of the land getting cleared and road being built. So that's really the first thing and main thing that I'm focused on right now, getting done. and then I'll be ready to take off from there. As far as, you know, getting gardens up and going, getting my fruit tree orchards, getting my fruit trees in the ground. I already have several fruit trees that are just kind of hanging out in containers that I'm really excited to get into the ground. Obviously, you know, we're coming into summer and much more warmer weather. Most likely gonna have to wait until September to start putting those trees into the ground. And then I believe a question was asked, you know, how am I paying for things needed for the homestead? How am I funding this whole operation? I work a job. I go to work. I have bills to pay. I'm not yet to a point where I can live or, you know, survive off of things produced on the homestead. We are building our homestead. We're building our homestead. We didn't buy an instant farm. We didn't buy an already made homestead. I'm building it. You know, those things are gonna take time.
Maybe you can elaborate more on the working your job and how it provides and properly storing up things that we will need.
Okay, yeah, so I work a job. Ultimately, you know, the plan is to not have to work a job to incorporate some family businesses on the homestead, you know, based on things that we're able to produce on the homestead. But until then, you know, I do work a job. I'm probably one of the few people in this country that are working. Everybody's hiring, everywhere is hiring. A lot of businesses are, you know, suffering from not being able to find employees.
Right,
a lack of employees. People just don't want to work these days. Also, a lot of my brethren, a lot of people in Israel, I'm seeing, you know, they are under some type of impression that because we're in the last days, which we are in the last days, but, you know, they take this for an excuse to not work. I believe, you know, we still in 7 years of plenty. 7 years of famine are not yet upon us. And what I mean by that is things are still available. You know, product, equipment, and the means to acquire these items are still available. You know what I mean? I'm still able to go to a job. They haven't required that I get a vaccine in order to work my job. You know, there's still gas available, even though the price is going up in gas. There's gas available for me to fill up my vehicle and be able to travel to work. You know, these things are still available. I plan to take full advantage until I'm no longer able to take advantage of it anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just you know, sit on my land picking up rocks and, you know, watching my fig trees grow, you know, when I can still be working and still earning an income and using that income to further prepare me and my house for the times that I know are ahead. So I do work a job, and this is how I'm able to pay for the things that we need for our homestead and for a job. You know, we're kind of like in a pause right now as far as the homestead goes, because like I said, we're waiting until for the gentleman to be available to do the land clearing and the road installation on the land. So between time, you know, I'm still just storing up equipment, things that I know that we'll need. Like we said today, we're going to be visiting Missouri Wind and Solar. I have already purchased a couple of solar panels and we're going to pick them up today. But the solar panels out on my land, I plan to go the solar route. I don't want to be tied into the electrical grid. I want to be as off grid as possible. So we're picking up solar panels today. They are gonna go straight into my storage. I have a storage. When I got here from Florida, we brought a lot of stuff with us from Florida that I was storing up. And as soon as I got here, we rented a storage space. I paid it out for 6 months, so I didn't have to worry about it. At the end of 6 months, I'll probably pay it out again for another 6 months until I'm able to have my own storage on the land. So for those of you that are thinking about purchasing land and coming out, that's something you want to keep in mind. Storage space. With, you know, obviously we all want to have our own storage space on our land, but until you're able to do that, you know, it's not a bad idea to rent a storage space. And I would suggest paying it out for 6 months to a year, just so you don't have to worry about it. Mine was relatively cheap. I paid less than $300, like $200 something for 6 months. I go to my storage unit probably once a week, putting stuff in, taking stuff out. I go to Tractor Supply, I go to Home Depot, I go to Lowe's, I buy stuff and I put it straight into storage, knowing that, you know, I'm gonna need it later. When you live in a prepper's lifestyle, regardless of whether you're coming out or gonna remain in the city, even if you remain in the city, you always want to store up certain things because, you know, as we all know, the country is suffering shortages, and we've seen times get rough, you know, at the grocery stores. You know, immune system boosters and toilet tissue, baby wipes, everything from canned goods to cups and noodles and milk and eggs. We've seen shortages on these things. Gas shortages, prices of building materials are going up, you know, so, you know, you should always just be in a prepper's mode and storing up, you know, things that you think that you would need for your survival. I would always recommend, I mean, obviously food, you want a food storage. Joseph, who was one of the sons of Jacob, stored up food for 7 years. Noah built an ark, and I'm sure on that ark he had a food storage. You know, our forefathers stored up food. In the book of the law, talks about it, owning land, coming into the promised land, and on that land, the land has a 7th year Sabbath where we're not supposed to harvest anything on the land in the 7th year. In that 6th year, we are supposed to harvest a double portion for that 7th year. So that lets us know that, you know, we should have at least a year's worth of food on hand at all times. So store up your food. You're going to want to do your research on what types of food to store up, which foods will last an extended amount of time. Lots of dry foods, beans, oats, you know, grains, rice, things of that nature. Store those things up. Canned goods, that's also in your dry storage. And then, you know, if you're a meat eater and you like your protein by way of animal, probably want to invest in a deep freezer and fill that thing all the way up as much as you can, and then buy another one and fill that one up too. So yeah, so food storage, obviously, all of your hygiene products, soaps, toothpastes, shampoos, whatever. I was, just get those things stored up. Your toiletries, if you have babies or children who are still in diapers, you want to think about what you plan to do for that. Whether you're gonna, have disposable diapers or just reusable cloths. Just think about all of the things that your household uses, all of the things that you need, and store that stuff up so that you always, have those things, or not always have those things, but,
get it while the getting is good.
Get it while the getting is good. Store up what you can, Wow. In the 7 years of plenty before 7 years of famine come. And hopefully you'll have enough stored up to get you through a famine. Aside from food storage, you also want to think about maybe possibly starting a garden or having the means to produce food. Having the means to produce your own food. Obviously a garden, fruit tree orchards, seeds. Store up seeds. A small chicken coop will do wonders. You'll be able to harvest fresh eggs every morning. It's definitely something that I plan on doing as soon as I'm available to, as soon as I'm able to. So, these are some of the things that we plan on doing on our homestead, growing all of our own food, raising all of our own animals for meat and for, whatever other things that we need them for. Everybody's coming out is not going to be the same. Prior to coming out, we were inspired by other YouTube channels, some Israel, some not Israel. We were inspired by a lot of other people's channels. And, when you're watching other people journey and watching them, learning from them, you tend to shape and mold your coming out after the fashion of their coming out. Everybody's coming out is not going to be the same. And there's, different ways of doing things. You need to figure out, what'll work best for you, what is convenient for you. The things that you need for your survival may not be the same needs as someone else, right? And a lot of people's channels, a lot of other channels, some people make it seem like that their way of coming out is the way to come out. You know what I mean? And that's not the case. So you just got to do what works for you and what's best for you. You know what I mean? You might have resources and things that someone else didn't have, or someone else might have resources that you don't have. So like I said, you just got to figure out what works for you and do what is best for you and for your family. Right?
Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for our updates on our homesteading and our biblical lifestyle. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, shalom, peace, and blessings.